Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and today I'm going to be showcasing a Scoia'tael deck. And I apologize in advance to those of you who hate this deck. This is a ranked staple, the Scoia'tael special card deck. And you can see just how special this deck is based on all of these cards I have along here. And this is my variant of this deck. There are, other variants out there. It's a deck that has, a few different options in terms of the gold cards and the special cards that you choose to use. But these are the ones that I personally enjoy using. So, in terms of gold cards, these are the ones I like. We have Villain Trentonmirth, or Bork. People call him Bork. Villain Trentonmirth, timer 3. So after 3 turns, what he does is he destroys the highest unit on the board twice. So the strongest unit on the board twice. And this is like Scorch, you can hit yourself with this. But as you can see, we have a very limited number of units. And as they currently stand, they don't have very high strength. So, because you're going to be playing so many special cards, you can just throw down Villain Trentonmirth and basically remove 2 of your opponent's cards. It's a nice option for this deck. Then we have Ciri. Ciri works really nicely in lots of decks, and I like her here because she gives you points on the board, but you also, can draw her back into your hand if you lose. So she's kind of a card that you could just throw out, put some points on the board, spam out your special cards, then pass, and then get her back in order to then, gain card advantage for a future round. Then I like to have Shiryu. Shiryu, deploy. You may transform a card from your hand, including golds, into Scorch. So when you play Shiryu, you can basically turn a card from your hand into Scorch and get an extra Scorch, which you can tell is going to be really nice for removal of your opponent's cards. As well as that, he has a 10-point body, so, a decent number of points. And then last but not least, I have Ragnarug. Apply Ragnarug to all rows on your opponent's side. You can see the animated Ragnarug there, looks pretty cool. Ragnarug, turn starts, damage the highest unit on the row by 3. So you put Ragnarug on all 3 rows, and each turn the strongest unit on the row gets damaged by 3. So this potentially can do 9 damage per round, depending on how your opponent has stacked their rows. So it's another really nice special card. Now, other cards that you see people like to run, some people like to run Renew, if there's a special card they want to play twice. Other people like to play Ilthene, whatever she does. It's a 2-strength spying unit, gold card. You play it on the opponent's row, and it lets you spawn a special card, so pull one of your special cards, and then play it twice. So it's like a double special card in return for 2 strength. Personally, I feel like we have enough special cards, and often playing one of these twice isn't that beneficial. They normally, a decent amount of value just from playing one once. Although double Skellige Storm is obviously kind of nasty. But there's other ways that we can play double Skellige Storm in this deck. So I don't really play that one. The other one you see people play a lot is Saskia. Saskia is a 7-strength gold card where when you use your leader ability, she gets pulled out of the graveyard. So you can use your leader ability, gain another 7 strength. Which gives you, a bit of a point swing. And as we have Roach in this deck as well, Roach summon this unit on a random row whenever you play a gold card. So, for example, Saskia, it means that when you use Ithne, you also get Roach and Saskia, which makes it a 17-point play with your leader ability, not including the special card that you resurrect from the graveyard with Ithne. So that's why some people like to run Saskia. So if you feel like, you need a big point swing, you can do that. But these are the cards that I like to run personally. So there is, a little bit of choice going on. Anyway, on to silver cards. Like I say, we have Roach. She's in there to, get us some more points on the board, which is really nice. Then we have Yaevinn. Deploy, draw a unit and a special card, including golds. Keep one and shuffle the other back. So we can use Yaevinn on a round we intend to lose to gain points. And because we have cards like, Villain Trentonmirth, we can also play out Yaevinn just before he triggers in order to put some points on their side and then burn him up, for example. So there is, some synergies there with some of our cards. Also, with Shiryu, if we get an extra Scorch, that's another potential target. Then we have Nature's Gift. Play a special card from your deck, shuffle the others back. So this pulls a special card out of your deck. Basically target draw for a special card, any of these special cards. So it's just if you're looking for a specific one, Nature's Gift is just kind of there to help you out. And you can also, again, resurrect this card with Ithne. So if you want to then find another specific one, Ithne is your friend. We have Scorch, which everybody knows what it does. Destroy the highest units. If the strongest unit is on your side, there's going to be a problem, but just don't burn yourself, basically. Then we have Dimeritium Bomb. Demote and reset 3 adjacent units. So Demote converts a card to silver, or bronze if bronze was the card's original color. Basically, you can use this to convert gold cards to silver, and also to reset their strength, which means that they're then targetable by your abilities like Scorch. So we're going to be using Dimeritium Bomb to basically, reset our opponent's cards and make them targetable. So that, if we play Villain Trentonmirth, we can still, also hit their gold cards should they have some particularly strong ones. It also, you can just use it to reset, cards that are very buffed. So that's another good use of Dimeritium Bomb. And last but not least, we have Skellige Storm. Apply Skellige Storm to a row. Skellige Storm turn start, damage the unit at the end of the row by 3, 2, and 1. So the unit on the far right gets 3 damage, the one next to it gets 2 damage, the one next to it gets 1 damage. Now this can be countered by gold cards, if they have 3 gold cards on the end of the row, because none of those can be hit. Skellige Storm does no damage. Fortunately, we have cards like Dimeritium Bomb, which can help us to target those units. Then we have 1 Lacerate, damage all units on a row by 3. So this is just really nice if it's stacked with low strength units, you can get a lot of damage out of the Lacerate. And we got another premium there, so just show you that in all its glory. Then we have Mardro Eam. Mardro Eam, reset a unit and strengthen it by 3, or reset a unit and weaken it by 3. So you can use this to get, remove problem cards if someone's throwing something to your side that you want to get rid of that's only got 3 strength, like a Cow Carcass. Alternatively, you can use it to try and put your opponent's cards all to a similar strength value. And in doing that, what you can do is then make your Scorchers, more successful. So this is just a little bit of a versatility card, and I really like it. I think it's a good choice. Another use of this card is, obviously if we've used, say, Dimeritium Shackles on something like a Tibor. Tibor is a Nilfgaard card that has 25 strength and is gold. So we could basically toggle the unit's lock by using this and demote it. So we turn it into a bronze card, and then we can use Mardro Eam to reset it down to base strength. So this is like a combo that works the same as a Dimeritium Bomb, but on one target. And that's why we also have Dimeritium Shackles in here. Again, looking pretty cool. I've got a lot of special premiums. See, we also got Torrential Rain. Apply Rain to a row. Turn start, damage the lowest units on the row by 2. And you might be asking, why aren't you using Fog? Why are you using Rain? But I prefer to damage the units from the bottom up, because if there's lots of small units, that's great. And also, if you damage units from the bottom up, then their strong units stay, which means that then when you come to play stuff like Scorch, you can bring the units up so that that's all that's left, because a lot of these were damaging units from the top down. But if there's a problem unit at the bottom, we can then use Torrential Rain to deal with it. And also playing weather effects tries to bait out their First Light. First Light spawns Clear Skies or Rally. Trigger all weather on your side, then clear all weather from your side. So if your opponent weathers you, with the few units that you have, we can use this to get rid of it. Alternatively, we can use this to find the few bronze units that we have. So it's a nice option there. And we're really going to be trying to bait out their weather removal so that when we play Ragnarok or Skellige Storm, it doesn't get removed. We have a couple Frosts. Apply Frost at the start of the row. Frost then damages units on that row by 1. So this is for like a stacked row. You can throw out Frost. And then Alzur's Thunder, damage a unit by 7. This is for that, particularly annoying target. And a lot of these cards you can also transform into a Scorch. Like Alzur's Thunder, I transform into Scorch quite often. Frost as well, if you feel like, you've played your big weather and you don't need as much as you've got, that's another option. Now, our units. So last but not least, we have our units. And this is, you might be wondering, how are you going to win this game? Well, we've got some units here. We've got 2 Hawker Support. Deploy, boost a unit in your hand by 3. So you use Hawker Support, and you've got 2 of these to boost a unit in your hand by 3. And the unit you're really going to be boosting here is the Dolblathanna Protector. Whenever you play a special card, boost self by 1, wherever this unit is. So as you can see, if we play a special card, these guys, no matter where they are, they're going to get boosted by 1. And we got loads of special cards to play, which means these guys are going to get, loads of boosts, which is really nice. But, if they have the same amount of strength and they end up on the same row, that could be problematic. So Hawker Support can make them, asynchronous. It's also a very low point unit. It's only 6 points, which means it's not likely that we're going to scorch ourselves with it, but its value is worth 9 points. So that's why we like to play these. And that's basically it for the special card deck. You can switch in and out whichever special cards you like. I know some people like maybe Adrenaline Rush to lock these to try and get wins, because you obviously need to win 2 rounds. Some people like different cards, but these are the cards that I like. Some people like Stammelford Tremors, for example, which I think is good. It hits up to 8 enemies, but we've got stuff like Lacerate and Weather to hit lots of enemies, so I personally don't run it. The other, again, with silver cards, people like to run Aeromancy to target draw that Skellige Storm, but I think because we have Nature's Gift, it's not too bad. We do typically find it in the deck. Some people like to run, where is it? It's the one that spawns First Light. Where are we? Maybe I don't have it. Ida Emin, I think it is. Ida Emin is the special card, and she spawns First Light. She basically is a unit that can spawn First Light, Stammelford Tremors, or one other card. Some kind of weather effect. Some people like to run that card. I personally think that I prefer to have these special cards and Roach. But again, it's up to you kind of with what kind of silver cards, special cards you want to run. But this is my version of the deck. Anyway, if you like this deck, hit that thumbs up button. If you don't like this deck, I'm sorry, but if you enjoy my content, hit that thumbs up button. And without further ado, we'll jump into a game and I'll showcase the deck for you guys.
Mead! For me!
Humans have no place in Broccolon.
Okay, so we're up against Skellige and King Bran. This probably means something like Queen's Guard or the Morkvarg Hunters deck. In terms of what we have in our hand, we've got Frost, which is nice, Alza's Thunder, Marjorie's good, Skellige Storm is great, 2 Dolblathanna Protectors. We can actually probably get rid of one of those, we don't need both of them. Bork is good, so I think what we'll do is we'll mulligan the one of the Protectors to begin with. We've got an extra Frost. I don't think we need both of our Frosts. We got a Rain. We got a lot of weather we can kind of force out on our opponent. I think we should still mulligan one more card though here. I'm just thinking what to keep. I think, you know, First Light, are they going to weather us? We can probably afford to mulligan First Light now and try and find it later on, I think. Because we're not likely to play any units, like many units this round where weather would be a particular problem for us, basically. So we'll wait and see what kind of deck our opponent is running. Stuff like locks are really useful in this situation, but unfortunately we didn't actually see any. So he's got a bear. Bears are annoying, but they're not really the end of the world. I think what we'll do is we'll open with some weather, so we'll put that out there on that row. And just, you know, to try and see if he's got First Light and stuff, because this is going to kill his bear. And bears are kind of important often in these style of decks. So what's he going to discard? This is a discard strategy. So he's played his leader. He's discarding. What you got? Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Come on, it doesn't take this long to pick. He's really thinking about it.
That's it! Good!
So he's discarded 2 Queen's Guards. Yep, so it's Queen's Guard, which means having Skellige Storm is really nice. And basically row damage is really good here. So that's what we've got going on, which is good. This bear's going to die on the next turn, which is pretty, you know, awesome for us. I think what we'll do for now is just put some points on the board. So, actually I'm going to play Bork. The problem is if I play Bork now, he obviously knows it's coming. But I need this round to go on for 3 turns. This is going to pull Roach for us, which is nice. But if we put Bork out now, it really limits the units that he can play. And this is going to buff the units in the graveyard. Now what he should do is not buff 2 of them the same. What he's just done is buff 2 of them the same. Now, Jake Von Der Who is a card that people like to decoy because it strengthens units in the graveyard, and if you decoy it, obviously strengthens, you know, units again. So what we'll just do is we'll just get rid of this. Can't be dealing with that. And you can see every time we play a special card, the Dolblathanna Protector is getting buffed. At the moment, like, Villain Trettenmirth is going to hit our Roach, which is kind of annoying, but ultimately not really that big of a deal, all things told. What we can actually do here is we can play Yaevinn now, because Bork is going to burn a card. So if we play Yaevinn, that means that Bork will burn Yaevinn, so we'll throw him out.
Coexistence.
And we'll pick what we want. And I think we want Dimeritium Bomb for the time being. We can find our Dolblathanna Protectors later, and we're usually using them for a round 3 win condition. We're going to try and win round 1, and then, you know, use them on round 3. Bork will burn Yaevinn and both Savage Bear and Roach at the moment, and this is why we use Rain, because Rain, you know, damages up from the bottom. So then these stronger units aren't getting hit. So then when this triggers, he will lose, you know, these 2. This guy will get killed by Rain, and Roach will die, but, you know, I can live with that. Okay, Roach died anyway. So he's used it to buff a unit in the graveyard, and it's buffing his Queen's Guard, which is going to be his strategy. So we know kind of what his strategy is here. Which is fine. Rain will trigger and kill these guys. I'm just thinking what we want to play here. We've got another Hawker support, so let's... Oh, sorry, our first Hawker support. We haven't played it, so let's pop that out. And buff the Protector. So you can see we are ahead of our opponent here. Out come the Queen's Guard, which is really, you know, unsurprising. He's kind of left the weather happening, which makes me feel like maybe he doesn't have a counter to it. In which case, let's see what we can actually resurrect from with Ithne. We can resurrect Alzur's Thunder. That's not that useful. I think we're going to go for Skellige Storm, and we'll pop that on this row instead. And then we've also got, you know, Lacerate. The fact that he's let Rain last that long means I don't think he has, you know, any weather clear, which is quite nice. And you can tell he really wants to win this round. As it is, he got rid of the Skellige Storm. The problem is he's going to resurrect these Queen's Guard and get a lot of points in a future round. But we can kind of keep going here.
There will
Pop
be
out
no negotiation.
Ithne, back into the Skellige Storm, back onto that row. You know, just deal lots of damage and keep kind of chunking down his Queen's Guard, as well as putting points on the board for us. Right, what you got? Another bear. And this is good, because he's just stacking one row, which means that when we do this, you know, these are now all going to die on the next turn. And he can bring them back, but he's bringing them back into Skellige Storm, which is kind of costly for him. And there's the pass. He's decided he doesn't want this round. And that's really good for us, you know. We've tried to, like, kind of force his hand. And now on the next round, what we can do is just try to force out his Resurrects. And if we force out his Resurrects, that's going to be quite good for us. The problem is we have to play both of our Skellige Storms. This draw here of Ciri is really, really nice. I think for this deck, we can probably afford to mulligan the Mandrake. We've got Dim Meridian Bomb in hand anyway. And there's a rain effect. So let's pop out Ciri for the time being. Because basically on this turn we can kind of force his hand a little bit. He'll probably resurrect. Oh, there's a rally. You got it.
Our shields are our ramparts!
You gotta be careful, buddy. Because when you resurrect your Queen's Guards, wouldn't it be a shame if they were resurrected into Frost? Because Queen's Guards, I do believe, always go in the front row. I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, they do. They're melee. So we can just put this here. Wouldn't it be a shame if there were more weather? That would be such a shame.
Well, what is it?
But it is what it is. We got more weather. And there's Roach. Annoying, but not the end of the world. I think what we'll do is we can play our Rain. We'll put that on the back row. And you can see each time we do this, it's buffing our Protectors, which is really nice. So they've got a decent amount of strength. He's played Ragnarok, which does literally nothing. And you can see he's just stalling for time here. We can play our Protectors, but I don't, really care to do it now. I'm going to play Dim Meridian Bomb. I'm just trying to pull cards out of him, basically. The more cards I can pull out of him here, the better. And basically by weakening this, he's now a silver. It does mean that we might need to be a bit careful. And yeah, you can see we've basically pulled out most of this guy's cards. And so let's see how many points we have. We have 15 and 12, but these are going to get hit if I play them. So this would be 12, and this would be... Basically, we'll lose 6 points. So we have 27 minus 6, 21 points. I think we're just going to pass here. We'll go into the next round with 21 points. He probably held on to a Resurrect for his Queen's Guard. That would be the strategy that I would use, because you can then pull, a lot of points out of the graveyard. By resurrecting one, you resurrect all three. But because we have these cards in hand, I think we still have more points than him ultimately, even though he does have a decent number of points in these cards. I'm actually going to mulligan Ciri here, I think. I've got Shiryu, I can turn something into Scorch. So if I want to do that, then I should probably get rid of Ciri. Even though she is gold, I think we'll mulligan her. Yeah, we can turn the Hawker support into Scorch. I think that's a good call.
Who is virgin, mother, and crone.
Hey look, he's resurrected his Queen's Guards. What a surprise. But hopefully you guys can see the power that is, knowing your opponent's cards.
What do you
Basically,
want?
if you know what your opponent is playing, that's very helpful. And I'm like familiar with this Queen's Guard deck enough that I can kind of, counter it. And by winning that first round, it was pretty nice.
Mother and crone.
He's pulled a bear. So here we go. We'll play our Scorch. Take out his 12. And then we have... that's another points there. We have 29 points here. So they're going to lose 2. It's actually 27 points. But it's still more than enough. We didn't even need to play our last Dolblathanna Protector. And that's game. And that is the power of the special card deck. Is you just kind of bleed out your opponent. Because a lot of decks these days, they really want to win round 1. Which means that your weather effects and whatnot are really useful. And you can see that we pulled cards out of him on round 2 because he couldn't afford to pass because we'd won round 1. That's kind of the gist of this deck. And being familiar with what your opponent's doing is really, really useful. Anyway, I'll jump into another game and showcase this deck once more for you guys, hopefully against a different faction.
I shall not repeat Emil's mistakes.
Humans have no place in Broccolon.
Okay guys, so we're up against John Calvé, and this is not really a favourable matchup for us. This is the one deck that I think a lot of people are really frustrated with, myself included. Especially when your starting hand includes no gold cards. Oh, alright, we'll get rid of Roach. Ragnarok is nice. We'll get rid of Hawker support into a Scorch, that's also nice. We have Madraim, Dimmer Team Shackles, which will be good against Tibor. We probably don't need First Light. I don't think he's going to be playing Weather against us. So we'll get rid of it for the time being. Like, really, you need First Light to draw your Protectors. But as it is, that's not really worked out for us. So I'd imagine the tempo play here is John Calvé, which will then pull 3 Golems of 3 strength from his deck. He'll have 3 Bronze Golems, which are, in my opinion, an overpower card. I think they need to be completely reworked. Because it thins your deck by 3 cards and gives you 9 points. And I've seen people say they would play them even if they didn't give you any points, simply because it thins your deck by 3 cards, which means you only really have to run a 22-card deck. Deck size in Gwent is something I have an issue with, but I'll make a video talking about that at some point. But that's likely to be what will happen here. He'll play some kind of gold card or leader ability, pull his 3 units, and then kind of go from there. Rot Tosser. Okay, this tells us he probably wants to play Cantarella. Cantarella is a spying unit that has 10 strength. What we do have in hand is we have Dimmertim Bomb, so Dimmertim Shackles, so we can deal with that. The problem is, obviously, if we do that, then we don't have Dimmertim Shackles for Tibble. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw Torrential Rain out on the back row. And we'll kind of see what he gets up to with his cards. I'm assuming his leader ability is coming, but, you know, maybe not. Maybe this is budget Kelve. It could be budget Kelve. Like, a lot of people are playing it, but, you know, not everyone has all of the cards for it. And it is a deck that I will showcase. You can actually see it on Mogwai or Merchant's channel, the John Calve Spearman, Pikeman, whatever deck. Hey, look! Cantarella, what a surprise. What a surprise. Can you frost your own row, out of curiosity? I don't think you can. I don't think you can weather yourself. Because you could frost your own row. That would kill the cow carcass and you take 1 damage on the Cantarella. We could also Marjorie this, but I think we'll just straight lock it. And that means that it doesn't trigger. And we get the benefit of 10 points. Which we knew was coming because of, you know, how our opponent's been playing here. That's a very standard strategy. You see someone throw a Rot Tosser onto an empty row, you know that they're going to be playing Cantarella. That's like the strategy, basically. So this is just a case of being familiar with the game. These guys are annoying, but we can, you know, scorch them out, basically, which is nice. I think what we'll do is throw some more rain out. Basically, I'm trying to, you know, get him to play his clear skies, and the more weather that we have out, the more likely that is to happen. And when that does happen, we can then look to play Ragnarok, which is going to be quite nice. He hasn't done his tempo play yet, which is very interesting. Like the John Calve Golem play. That one is typically, you know, a pain. We do have Rain on the front row, though, so if he does play it, you know, the Golems are all going to take 2 damage, because they'll be the weakest unit on the row. So that is something to be aware of. Let me see. Vicavaro Novice, maybe? Although, doesn't that go in the back row? Rot Tosser. So this isn't really useful for him, because what it's going to do here is it would just kill that. I don't think he has another spying unit. I think he's just trying to stop me from playing units in that row. We can Scorch here. We could just straight Scorch that unit. And that is an option. But in some ways, I feel like I want him to play, you know, more cards. I want you to play more cards, baby. Why don't you play more cards for me? Maybe we just frost the middle row and wait and see what happens. Because I can't play the Hawk of Sport because that's going to go in the back row. I don't really want to Scorch yet. I'd rather kind of hold that, you know, and then play it later. So I think we'll frost the middle row. That's it's buffing our special units, you know, which is nice. And his cards are still getting debuffed, which is good. I'm not ready to Scorch, you know. Okay, so we're going to be at a 2-card disadvantage going into the next round here. But I think winning the first round against Nilfgaard is really, really good for us. So I think we're going to have to go for it. Oh no, that's gonna burn myself. Ooh. Whew. We almost burnt ourselves. We're losing this card at the end of the round. What do I play here? I can play Ethne, but I don't want to play Ethne. I can play my Protector, but I don't want to play my Protector. I can play Marjorie, but that means if he plays Tibor, I don't have a counter for Tibor. Unless we find Dimmeritium Bomb. I think we play this. Into a Spores, reset this. And then... I mean, maybe the best plan there was roping and just discarding something. But I didn't really want to discard anything either. And if you discarded Ragnarok, that would be awful. I think, like, the 2-card disadvantage is costly here, but winning a round against Nilfgaard, like, I couldn't really give him this round because, you know, I still know he has that tempo play in hand. He has that Calve. He probably has the Golems. Potentially he got a bad mulligan, and that's why he didn't play it this round. There's D-Bomb, so that's really nice for us. It means we can deal with Tibor. We'll get rid of Roach, obviously. Do not want her. Can I have some more gold cards, please? The answer is no, apparently. My turn. Right, so let's just open with this. I just kind of want to see what he plays, and then we're going to go for a weather strategy, basically. He plays his cards, we're going to weather him out. Potentially play Ragnarok as well. I just need to see if he's got that clear skies. But the fact that he let the rain happen means that he might, you know, not have it. We also have Skellige Storm into Ethne, which is nice. Go on, play some units. Oh dear. Well, this hasn't been quite the Alba Pikeman deck, or the Spearman deck, or whatever it's called that I expect. The John Calve nonsense deck. That's going in the back row. There's not really a lot we can do about that. Let's frost his back row. The thing is, he can't really pass until we pass, so we may as well just kind of weather him out, basically. The card advantage is really annoying, and we didn't draw, you know, we didn't draw our card advantage card. We didn't draw Ciri or Yaevinn, which is kind of a shame, because we do have cards to deal with this, but some games you do get, you know, draw like this where you can't really gain card advantage, and you just have to work around it. But then if I have no points, you know, maybe neither does he. Maybe neither does he.
Nilfgaard!
Oh dear. We can actually reset this, but what we'll do for the time being, maybe we just straight scorch that. I think scorching for 19 is probably a good plan. And then we can also see, you know, where he plays his weather, because if he places his weather in, or his units in different rows, then we can decide where we play our Skellige Storm. We still haven't seen John Calvé come out though, which is interesting. I'm surprised he's not gone for that. Like, what are you gonna play? He's looking at his graveyard. Why are you looking at your graveyard? You can resurrect things out of my graveyard, but I guess you can take the emissary back. I was gonna say I don't really have many units in here. And Hawker support. There's John Calvé. Okay, this is what we wanted to see. Hey look, golems!
I shall not.
So he could have put that on the end, which would make Skellige Storm less effective, but he didn't. Into, what are you gonna pull from this? Come on, show me. Show me. I'm excited. A standard bearer. Okay. And Skellige Storm. And we can actually Skellige Storm 2 rows here with Ethne. We can Skellige Storm the back row as well. The problem is he has so many more cards than us. But he can't pass, so we're going to be at a 2-card disadvantage in the final round, which is not going to be fun for us. But we have Ragnarok, and we have Dolblathanna Protector, which is nice. So we have some options. And we're probably going to top deck Roach. I could do with a gold card in the final round. Maybe not Cahir, though. Cahir's not that great.
As you wish.
The real problem in this situation is just card difference. Like, we're having, you know, some issues with that. He's going to now play another card because Cahir resets his leader ability. So he gets to pick one of the top 3 cards. Decoy into that, into weather removal, I reckon. I mean, maybe we Ragnarok now, right? Because then we can always Ethne resurrect a Scorch. And he can only clear 1 row with the Nausicaa Standard Bearer, which is nice. We're currently doing 6 damage a turn. The thing is, like, we have a lot of damage, but this deck out-tempos your damage, so that's kind of the situation where it's really difficult. And because we haven't drawn, you know, Shiryu, we haven't drawn Villain Trentonmirth, we haven't drawn Ciri, we haven't drawn Yaevinn, it's been quite a difficult draw for us in this matchup. So if we lose, I'm not really surprised. Simply because we're going to go into the last round 2 cards down.
Last words?
And that is, you know, not going to be so great for us. Okay, what can we actually draw in here? Scorch is going to hit the 3 4s. I guess that's 12 points from a Scorch.
I respect nothing human.
I think we go for it. We now have 5 points on the board. That was a 17-point swing. But you see, like, he still has too much tempo. That is our real problem. And we can't play our protectors yet. We just can't. We need them for a win condition for the final round. So even though, like, I could throw out 17 points on the board, I don't want to. Right, what you got? I think I'm just going to have to pass after this and hopefully have drained, you know, enough. We've drained quite a few of his gold cards, which is really good for us. And this is clearly a budget version because he's running Geralt. But we've got Geralt. Cahir's done. You know, we've kind of got his leader ability out. Like, we've kind of drained his deck a little bit, which is nice for us. It's just kind of a shame that the only gold card we've seen so far is Ragnarok. But with that said, it does mean that maybe we'll get one out of the deck. Meanwhile, his deck has 5 cards left in it because of just how ridiculously thin this deck is. So there's Swears. And we'll pass. Swears was the fine play here because, you know, we're not going to be playing anything that he's going to want to get rid of. This is where I then draw Ciri or Yaevinn here. It's what's going to happen, you know that. I'm not really sure what I need. Shuru. I don't really want to make any of these into a Scorch. I think we have to take Dimmerton Bomb in case of Tibor. I think we just stick with this hand. Keep this. This is points. This is points. And having points on the board here is what we want. Alright, go on then. Let's see what you've got. The problem is, you know, if he has a Rot Tosser or something, because he's got last 2 cards, he can just Rot Tosser my Protector.
What do you want?
So he's going to think that we have a Scorch, but you don't actually have to do it. Oh, we got Roach as well. I forgot. We haven't played a gold card that summons Roach. That extra 5 is actually quite nice. And that means that we can put the Dolblathanna Protector on the same row as Roach. The risk in doing that is we make it ignoble, but the protection in doing that is that we stop it from being Rot Tossered. And because this guy's running budget, like, do I think he's got Gigny? I don't know.
Just great.
Yeah, so we didn't get value out of the Dimmerton Bomb, unfortunately. So maybe I should have mulliganed it. But I was just hoping for Tibor. And if he played Tibor, that's a good counter. So that is what it is. But can he score 15 points in 3 cards? The answer is yes. I mean, I'm just thinking if we mulliganed it and got another Protector or a First Light, actually that probably would have been a smarter plan and just gone for the points. I think it would have been a good play. Or maybe we just throw out the Protector before we did the Dimmerton Bomb and give him another chance to play Tibor. Hey, it's Igni. What up, Igni?
Dolblathanna!
Right, I'm 11 points ahead. He's definitely got 11 points in those 2 cards. But if we'd... I think if we'd mulliganed the D-Bomb and gotten another Dolblathanna, that would have been another 18 points. We probably would have gotten, like, Lacerate or something. But that would have been another 18 points, and that probably would have won us around. So I'm thinking maybe not the right call. But then, you know, you do expect Tibor in these situations, and resetting him is pretty good. Oh, you know, there we go. We just got Petered, so, you know, that's it. Rip the dream. But that's the spell deck, and that's its matchup into the Calvé deck. Unfortunately for us, I think we didn't see, you know, quite the hand that we were looking for. You can beat this deck, but, you know, it's definitely an awkward one to do. Am I not getting a GG? I think I'm getting a GG. Look at him. He runs the John Calvé deck in casuals and then doesn't send a GG. Oh, feels bad. Feels bad. But if you have any questions or suggestions about the deck, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, you know, hit that thumbs up button. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you like the channel, maybe subscribe. And you can always follow me on Twitter @Jaggerous and on Twitch @Jaggerous. Well, twitch.tv/Jaggerous. Thanks for watching. Have a very special day, and hopefully I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!